Hey guys, it's Dylan from Valve Tech, and today I'm making a commentary on the top 5 things we want to happen in 2019 for Team Fortress 2. This list will mostly include some of the most wanted things in the TF2 community, whether that be balance changes or class updates. I'll be going over all of them today in this video. If you do happen to go on to enjoy today's video, please be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any more content from me in the future. With that out of the way, let's get into this list. One thing in the community as of recent that has been addressed is a lot of changes to the overall competitive matchmaking system. While there are a ton of issues with it, including connectivity, overall queue times, and lack of support from Valve, the competitive mode almost seems to be abandoned to the point where external third parties are controlling the competitive matchmaking tournaments. With that, I also think there needs to be a bit of an in-between mode when it comes to casual and competitive. I think a casual 6v6 style game type called 6 is Casual would be a great place to start and allow new players to more comfortably enter a competitive environment without becoming a clueless burden to the experienced comp players. This mode would also allow players to experiment and try new playstyles and could potentially change up the rather strict and unchanged meta that currently exists. Overall, the competitive scene of Team Fortress 2 is rather dry, and I think most of the community would agree when I say there needs to be a competitive match update sometime in 2019. On the last note, please restrict graphical settings. The Nintendo 64 config Cold War really needs to stop.
Big, bright mess.
What the fuck? FBI, open up!
If you're at least somewhat experienced with the TF2 economy, you know for a fact that the prices of refined metal have been less than desired. Over the course of the last year, refined metal has seen some of the biggest change in value than even some of the previous years. Towards the beginning of 2018, keys were worth somewhere around the 30-ish mark in refined metals, and now as of the beginning of 2019, keys are now worth between 44 and 45 refined metal. This is really bad, as refined metal is slowly becoming less and less of a prominent trading currency in the TF2 economy, and is on a path of becoming worth little to nothing. This is mostly in part due to the excess amount of refined metal that currently exists in the economy. Many people have been suggesting that they stop buying keys for huge sums of refined metal. And as key prices themselves have been dropping, many people on trading websites such as Backpack.tf have been suggesting they raise the overall price of ref to compensate for the dropping price of keys. So overall, everyone is hoping for refined metal to either phase out as a currency or pick itself back up from the value it's currently standing at. Valve, please fix. But overall, I'd like to see some nice economy changes. While this isn't something Valve can directly fix, I hope the community can come together to try and sort something out. I'm not really that big in the economy. I'm a pretty small trader, you know. I just kind of buy stuff, to be honest with you. But, I mean, the price of ref has been pretty bad, so I hope they do something about it. Man vs. Machine is an important part of TF2's history and arguably been one of the most influential and biggest updates to many players. Upon its launch back in late 2012, the game received a huge amount of love and support, which continued deep into 2013. But after the Two Cities update, no major content update made by Valve since released for Man vs. Machine, making many fear the game mode as a whole will die due to the lack of support. Man vs. Machine as of now is doing pretty okay, with many projects like Canteen Crasher to hold over the most dedicated of robot slayers, complete with contracts tailored to Man vs. Machine, badges, and new maps and enemy types that overall refresh the game for players and keep them coming back for more. I think that, at the very least, Valve should take something like Canteen Crasher and turn it into a fully fleshed out community update that can be accessed from their Man vs. Machine server browser. The extra attention Valve would draw would bring a lot more new and concurrent Man vs. Machine players, and while it isn't something directly from the TF2 team, it is something made by the Man vs. Machine community filled with passion and love. I think the next topic on this list is something everyone can relate to given this past Smithmas that just occurred, and that's overall holiday events. While Scream Fortress this year was alright, maybe mediocre at best, Smithmas this year was probably the worst one we've had yet. While we got the usual goodies and secret Saxtons, the only real thing we received was a new cosmetic crate full of community created cosmetics, like seriously. And you think the Manco sale was gonna make us content too? Valve, what the fuck are you doing? Smithmas this year was not okay, and you could really tell the dev team didn't have really anything planned for this year at all. We as fans of this community should take this kind of treatment, and should let them know that they are killing their own game by releasing these kinds of updates. However, many have speculated that either 1, they are short-staffed for the holidays, obviously they're probably on break with their families, yada yada, working on Artifact trying to fix that dying game, or number 2, that something much bigger is in the works behind the scenes, which leads me into my next thing the community wants. If there's any class in the game right now that needs an update, it is the heavy weapons guy, Hoovy. Hell, Pootis Man if you want to call him. I love him. I mean, he is my second most played class right next to Scout. Shut up, Scout. Overall, the community wants Heavy's arsenal to be more viable and less restricted, as a lot of weapons are either not good at all or are very situational at the least, so some buffs on some of the primaries, secondaries, and melees would be an amazing idea. Many community-created weapons have also been in the workshop over the years, and many people like the idea of Heavy having new weapons. While his arsenal is not small, he could sure use an upgrade, as the rather last viable thing he received was the second banana all the way back in Jungle Inferno. The Heavy update in general would be a great update to come out during the summertime, but as we all know, Valve Time won't allow that. No, but on a serious note, back when there was the vote for who would be updated in Jungle Inferno, the TF2 devs did say both classes would get an update eventually, so we're really hoping this is the year the Heavy update will come out. Anyways guys, that was an overview of what in general the TF2 community wants added into the game or fixed. Like I said, I'd like to start a conversation down in the comments below, so please leave a comment letting me know what you want to see happen this year in Team Fortress 2 and why, and I'll be sure to pipe up a conversation with you in the comments. With all that said, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed and consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to see more content from me in the future. Thank you, and have a good day.